Welcome to Love and Life's Journey. I'm Chantel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today I have a really cute, fun DIY project that is perfect for winter. It is a little hot cocoa or coffee bar that could be given as a gift or really fun just to keep for yourself. Most of the items that I will be using are from Dollar Tree. However, the other items can be easily found at Walmart. So let's jump in and get started. For this project, I will be using 2 packages of the 5-gallon stir sticks. There are 3 in each package, and I picked these up at Walmart. They are $1.12 each. I will also be using 2 of these thankful box signs from Dollar Tree. Now, if you don't have these because it's kind of past this season at Dollar Tree, they are carrying the same exact signs in Christmas designs, so you should be able to find these. And I'll also be using one of these unfinished wooden gingerbread house signs, decor pieces, not sure what you call it, but I'm using one of them. I'm going to start by using my paint stir sticks to create a tray for the front of my little coffee or hot cocoa bar. This is actually the tray that I used when I did my jar organizer video. I will link that in the description box below, and I used 5 of the stir sticks to create this tray. And I'll kind of give you a quick flyover how I did that here, but the full tutorial will be in that other video if you want to check that out as well. I'm going to be cutting all 6 of my paint stir sticks at 12 inches long. I will be using my miter box and saw to cut these paint sticks, and I will put the link to this in the description box below. It is just such a handy tool to have around the house for these craft projects. Then I'm taking my sanding block and just sanding off a few of those little splinters from where I cut the sticks. I'm going to use some of this weld bond glue. You could use wood glue or E6000 to glue these 3 pieces together for the bottom of the tray. And once I have them glued together, I'm going to place something heavy on top and let those dry. Then I'm going to take another one of the 12-inch pieces and I'm going to glue it along the front edge, and I am gluing it to cover that front edge, not on top of it, if that makes sense. You'll be able to see what I'm doing here. And I did add a little bit of hot glue in just a couple of places just to hold that on while that other glue dries. And then I will do the same thing with the other long piece on the other side. Then I'm going to take the remaining pieces that I cut from the stir sticks, and I'm going to measure the end pieces and glue these on in the same way that I glued the other pieces together. So I'm recycling that tray I made in that jar organizer video. So mine is stained. You do not need to stain it because we're going to paint over it, but I'm going to now attach one of these box signs to the back of the tray like this. And I'm just using some Gorilla hot glue for this. I like the Gorilla glue sticks because they hold better. Then I'm going to take the other box sign and remove the hanger out of the back. It just pulls right out. And I'm going to glue it upside down on top of the other sign. So basically now I have a tray that has 2 levels. I'm using some ivory chalk paint. I'm going to paint the entire thing with several coats of this just to give it a nice good coverage, and I did have to do I think 3 coats of paint on this. So in between my coats of paint, while I'm letting those dry, I am going to start working on my little house, and I decided I didn't want this to be too Christmassy. I want it to be more of a winter house, so that's what I'm going to be doing. And the first step is just to cut off that hanger, and I'm going to show you a little hack for filling the hole. I take a metal ruler and I am going to turn this upside down so that the hole is sitting on that metal ruler, and then I'm going to hold it down tightly and fill the hole with hot glue, and then just want to press that down tight until the hot glue is set, and then it will pop right off of that ruler and you'll be left with a really flat surface on the front where that hole is, and you can paint right over it and you'll never see it. I'm going to paint my little house a light blue color because I really want to give this a real kind of cool wintry vibe. And then I will be painting all of the window frames and door and the snow on top, just that ivory colored chalk paint that I used to paint the tray. And I'm not painting over where the window frames are on the sides of the door, just because I want to be able to see those lines so I can paint those window frames with the white. And I am using a teeny tiny little paintbrush to get in those really small areas, and so this does take a little bit of patience and a little bit of a steady hand, but the end product is so worth it. I did have to go back over where the little Christmas lights are on this because not only are they darker lines, but they are also indented a little bit, and so they show through the paint. I put probably 4 coats of paint over the top of where the little lights are just because I didn't want the Christmas lights to show. But if you are making it more of a gingerbread house or Christmassy, you might want to just paint those. And so now I'm going to go back and paint all of my white parts, and the snow on the top of the roof is easy to paint. The window frame on the top and the door frame are easier because they stick out a little bit, but the 2 windows on the sides of the doors are a little bit harder just because they are just basically drawn on, and so it takes a little bit of patience to try and stay in the line and get those straight. But I just used a flat small paintbrush and took my time. I did take that really small paintbrush and paint along the inside edges of the door and the window that are 3-dimensional, just to kind of clean it up a little bit. It's not necessary, but I liked having that be a little neater, so I took the time to do that. I'm using kind of a sage green color to paint the little wreath that's hanging on the door. I didn't want it to be a Christmassy green. I wanted it to be more of a farmhouse green because I'm making this a winter house, and so I am using this green on the wreath, and then I'm going to paint the bow. I'm going to attempt to make it look like white and black buffalo check. We'll see how that comes out. Now, as you can see, the little trees that are on the front of the house are showing through as well. So just like I did on the little Christmas lights, I went over those lines with a couple extra coats of paint, tried to fill them in so that they don't show as much. And I know here it looks like they are showing a lot, but that's because the paint is wet. It will dry and blend in with all the other paint. And I apologize, I kind of got this out of the frame when I was painting this little bow. I am painting the bow white, just the same ivory colored paint, and then I took my little liner paintbrush and I'm just adding some little black lines, vertical and horizontal, to make it look like buffalo check. It's certainly not perfect, but I think it looks pretty good since it's such a small little accent. I think it's going to be fine. Next, I'm going to take some ivory colored chalk paint and I'm going to dry brush all across the blue areas of my house. This is going to soften it up, and it's also going to kind of disguise some of those areas where those little Christmas lights and the tree lines might be showing through. So even though they are still there, your eye is drawn away from them with the dry brushing. I started to paint the back of the house, and then I remembered that I wanted to attach the craft sticks to the back of the house before I paint it, so that I can paint them as well. And I'm going to be using 3 craft sticks to attach the house to the tray. So I'm going to glue these on with hot glue to the back of the house. And now I'll go ahead and finish painting the entire back and the craft sticks. Once the back is dry, I'm going to take some of this Faux Snow from Dollar Tree and some Mod Podge, and I am going to apply this to the snow on the top of the house, on the bottom of the windowsills, and then at the bottom of the house. And I'm using a generous amount of Mod Podge, and then I'm just sprinkling the snow over the top and pushing it down in, and then I'll let it dry completely before I knock off any of the excess snow. While my snow and Mod Podge is drying, I am going to apply this Keep Warm vinyl lettering to the front of my tray. I did this on my Cricut. If you have a Cricut or Silhouette or something, you can do it on there. If you don't, then you can either paint these words on, you could use stickers, or maybe you can find a decal of some sort that you like. But just customize this to however you want. If you're doing a Christmas theme, you could do something that says home for the holidays or something like that. If you go with more of like a gingerbread house. But since I'm doing the winter theme, I decided to put keep warm on this. And that way I can use it for hot cocoa, or I could even make it into a little coffee bar. Once the Mod Podge is all dry, then I'm going to take my little house and I'm just going to tap off all of the excess snow that didn't stick, and I'll just keep that for another project. And the next step is to attach the house to the back of the tray. Now here's where I'm going to show you my mistake for this project. Seems like I always have one, but hey, it's good to learn from your mistakes. So when I put the K-cups in the little tray that's sitting right in front of the house, I realized that the house is a little bit too close, and the K-cups don't really want to fit down inside there. So I do have a fix for this, so let me show you what I did. So to attach the house, I just glued the bottom part of the craft sticks to the back of the tray, but now I have to take it off, so I'm using a heat tool to soften the hot glue, and then I'll just pry this off. This is a good little hack if you need to fix a mistake. So then I took that 6th paint stir stick that we cut 12 inches long. I know you were probably wondering, why did we cut 6 when we only used 5 for that tray? Well, this is why. So I'm taking that 6th one and I'm painting one side of it and the edges the white color, same as the tray, and then I'm going to glue it to the back of the tray at the top. So now I have a spacer, and the little house is going to sit on that piece of stir stick that we just glued to the back, and I think this is going to work much better. I decided to cut down the craft sticks just so they were the same size as that stick that I just put on the back. So I'm going to mark those, I'm going to cut them off with scissors, and then glue the house back on to the back of the tray, and I'm just centering it. For the last step, I'm going to give my project a couple coats of this matte clear sealer that will help the snow to stay on and also just give it a nice finish so it will last longer. So now those K-cups sit perfectly inside the little tray, and they are sitting flat right in front of the little house. It looks great. I picked up these little 3-packs at Dollar Tree just because that's where I was at. I have a feeling you can probably get them cheaper, like at Walmart or your local grocery store. I picked up this set of 5 jars from IKEA. I think they were only like $3 or $4 for these 5 jars, but if you don't have an IKEA near you, you can pick up some jars from Dollar Tree, and then I am going to fill them with some miscellaneous things that would be good to mix into hot cocoa, like mint M&Ms, miniature candy canes, Werther's caramels, chocolate chips, and of course, marshmallows. And look how cute this looks. I am so excited to put this out this winter. I am loving it. And so you can customize it however you want. You can make it look more Christmas-like or more winter-like, like I did. And you can put anything you want in these jars. It would be such a great gift to give to a family. I just love it. Another idea for giving this as a gift is to add 4 of these cute little mugs from Dollar Tree that already come with the little candies inside, and you could give this to a family. And that would just be a really fun gift for them to get, and they can enjoy hot cocoa together. I hope you liked this project and enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps my channel to grow. I'd love to hear in the comments below any ideas you have of what you might put in it or how you might decorate it to make it your own. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button and stick around, as I have a lot of Christmas and holiday DIYs coming up. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a blessed day.